Hi, Andrew from Sachs, and welcome to video number 5 in our 8 video sequence on communications. Communication for engagement and morale. In this one, we're talking about truth, authenticity, and even bluntness. Is it better to be blunt with people, or is it better to be kind of gentle and soft soap the information that you want to communicate? Depends on the situation, but frankly, I think bluntness is underrated. So here are some research findings on this topic. First one from Zhang and Luo in 2018, authentic leadership, transparent organisational communication. It was found to be positive. And same as Zhang and Sheng in 2020. Transparent communication helps employees trust, empowerment, commitment and satisfaction. People at high trust companies report 74% less stress, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, 13% fewer sick days, etc., 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 and 40% less burnout. So high trust is very heavily affected by honesty and authenticity. And in a big study about the COVID world, 10,000 workers, 66% of executives believed that they were very transparent regarding post-pandemic policies, while only 42% of workers agreed. 81% of executives believed that leadership was transparent about sharing new developments, while only 58% of workers agreed. And investigating the impact of language on judgments of truth, Hansen and Vanka found that concrete statements were judged as probably more true than abstract statements. Just summarising all of that, bluntness in general is better. Restructures have been painted in so many different colours by organisations over the history of the corporate world. They get called realignments, they get called right-sizings, they get called a whole bunch of euphemistic things. But why do you need the euphemism? Because what tends to happen is that the person hears the message and translates it into the word restructure instantly. But they just think that you're being sneaky about it. Why not just tell them, look, this is going to be a restructure. So I believe, and I think that research evidence indicates this, that truthfulness, straightforwardness, bluntness can be way better than assuming that people don't have the resilience to cope with the message. So here's a couple of forms of words that you might like to consider. We're going to go through a restructure. This is how we will do it. Now, of course, if you're also able to couple that with a message of we're going to cause you guys to be part of the solution here and we're going to get you involved in this in some way, then that empowerment message is a really powerful one as well. Things like, right now we're not profitable. Here is what we think is causing the issue. We need your help to fix it. I reckon one of the most charismatic things I've ever seen from a leader, a chief executive was appointed to an organisation. We were helping this organisation in various ways. But he came in, he took over, and he discovered that the organisation was performing very poorly to the point where it actually threatened the organisation's existence. And what he did is that he got everybody together and he put all the slides up about how the organisation was in a very weak position from a commercial point of view. And in fact, I think they had something like 3 months cash. And after the 3 months, they were actually going to have to close down. This is an organisation of about 1,000 people. And I remember that he told people about this very directly. And he said, well, look, here's the truth of it. I need your help to fix this. And I want you to come along on this journey with me if you're up for this journey. And what happened over the next month or two is that a number of people stepped off because they weren't up for the journey. This chief executive was going to have to make very, very significant changes. Although one thing he did that was very smart is that he used empowerment to cause people to be involved in making sure that the things that he thought should be done were actually the right things to do. So he actually took the staff on the journey with him. And I think that the organisation downsized by about 15-20% or something like that. But 4 or 5 months later, he got everybody together and he said, look, we've survived. And now we're going to set ourselves for the future. We're going to, in effect, set objectives about growth and development and prosperity and plenty, rather than the last few months it's all been about survival. So I think that that was a very courageous and an appropriate way of communicating a very different message. He was just blunt. And the next one is about we need everyone's contribution to achieve the levels of quality that our funders expect, or maybe our customers or whatever. Here's a graphic to show you what's going on. If the message can be, okay, let's now make plans together about how we're going to solve this problem, that's a very effective form of communication. I think we underrate the intelligence and resilience of staff sometimes, and it's better to tell them the truth than for them to think that we're trying to kind of be sneaky or just not entirely honest with them. They can cope. So the next video in the sequence is about inclusive and exclusive language. This is really interesting, isn't it? Your language makes people think you are one of us, or they can make you think you are one of them. Join me for the next video to find out how to be inclusive in language.